Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Cool. So my choice for the month was Prism by Say Shishi. So I wrote down some notes about this so I don't get all over the place. But anyway, so I actually discovered this very recently on Bandcamp. I've been getting doing a lot of Bandcamp radio. Um and they're really good at like showing like a lot of smaller artists and just like artists that you probably wouldn't come across um on like Spotify or Apple Music organically. So yeah, so they're a three-piece like disco-y sounding group. They sing like really, really well. And they're just fucking awesome. So this is their like first album. They had a bunch of singles before this. None of those singles made it onto this album. So this is like just a bunch of new songs that they all wrote together. They started recording it before COVID, but I guess like COVID like messed all that up. So the direction of the album kind of changed. Um, but it's like a disco sounding album. Like it's so cool. I'm just really excited to hear what you guys have to say about it. I don't want to say too much. But anyway, it was great. I liked it a lot. But would love to hear you guys' thoughts.
I loved it. I think it was awesome. Yeah, I've you've been playing it all the time and raving about it. So I finally got around to listening to it yesterday fully. I mean, I kind of listened to it here and there, but it's awesome. I like the it's so like funky and like the way they all sing together, it's like super beautiful. Um it doesn't feel like it's just one person singing it. I don't know if that's what you feel, but or what it is, but yeah, and just like the little interesting like little flute solos, and just to keep things interesting, and each song feels like really unique too. So I don't know, I just a good vibe, hot, happy vibes in that freaking album.
It
Man.
was it's a really dreamy album and like very nostalgic. It kind of feels like I'm being teleported back to the 70s and 80s and in like a really good way. But the production is so slick. And I was so surprised to find out it was just three people. Like it feels like a full ensemble band. Like I first of all, like I'm surprised I never heard about them because they're very talented people. Um, and they take a lot from the past, but they make it sound really fresh and new. And I really like that about them. And I was blown away by their vocalists. I think excellent singers. I think they have a lot that sounds a little bit like disco, but at the same time, it sounds modern. They
Mhm.
don't they don't lean on the nostalgia too much. They're still all excellent. Like uh, you know, they're great at their instruments, they're great at their production. And yeah, I was a huge fan of this one. Blown away. I'm surprised I never heard of them before.
Yeah, I love this album too. I hadn't heard of him before either, and classic Doug. I trusted him. So yesterday, my girlfriend and I were walking up back from getting coffee in the morning, and I was having trouble like finding the right like album to fit the vibe of like walking, like late morning, nice outside, fall, blah blah blah. I turned this album on, and it was perfect. Oh my gosh, this album was like, just like really, it felt really like cozy and warm.
Mhm.
And yeah, I could definitely hear the disco influences and definitely the classical singer influences too, kind of all through the album. Um, Kind of contributed all to that. It's just great. Every song is like kind of different. It hits different moods, which I really like, different tempos. Um, and it's just great. I'm definitely going to listen to it a lot more, especially in the mornings. I think it's like perfect for walking around, like getting your coffee or whatever. Um, I really like the song "Same Things."
Mm.
That was my favorite song on the album. That one stood out to me just with the kind of swell, I feel like, in energy, which I really liked. So yeah, awesome album. We'll definitely be listening to this a lot. Um, yeah, can't wait to listen to it more and like discover new things.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny that you said like walking too, because that's kind of what I've been doing this a lot to this album.
Yeah.
But like Reed and I were listening to it. We were actually like watching, like we went live the other day on Hip Tide Radio. That's the first time we've done that in a while. We were just watching music videos. I definitely suggest watching some of the music videos for this album. I don't think they have a lot, but the one for Prism is just like very psychedelic looking. There's like a lot of kaleidoscopy looking stuff in there. But Reed was like, it this is like the music that you listen to when you're at like the pinnacle of your high, basically.
Well, it's so dreamy and it's got such a like really driving bass line to it.
Yeah,
It's like it's impossible to listen to the song and not feel like you're going someplace and just have a smile on your face, you know?
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. But that's I definitely agree with that, with everything you guys said. But yeah, they're really great. I'm looking forward to anything else that they're doing next. But who knows? We'll see if they even put out more music.
Didn't you say like they played with somebody we know or something, or like
So they live in New York and they know I so Tim, actually I don't think they play the instruments, but it's just the three women vocalists.
Oh, they're all vocal. Okay, cool.
I don't know who did the instrumentals, but I know that they know like Karangbin and Chicano Batman. So
you said, yeah,
those are
that's what they're like
possible
friends with them, right?
possible guests. I don't know how to find like who did the all the instrumentals for this, but that's something I could like go back and look up and we could, I don't know, add in the comments or whatever. Um but yes, that is maybe, I don't know who did the instrumentals, but regardless, they sound really, really great. Um yeah, I want more groups like this too. Like I want more three-piece uh like all female groups because they just sound so strong. Um but yeah, I guess I should rate it. So I will give this, I haven't thought of my rating at all. Um like a 7.5 or a 7 out of 10. I thought it was really, really strong. There were there's some songs that I wasn't as crazy about. But not because they're not as good. I just think, I don't know, like I guess they're not as good as my favorite songs on the album. I have a few. But yeah, 7 out of 10.
What was your
7.5.
favorite on the album?
So I really like the title track, Prism, Pink Roses, Apple of My Eye, and Believe.
Pink Roses is cool, yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked just how toned back the instrumentals on Better Man was. And it was all about the vocals and their harmonies. And I thought that's probably my favorite on the album. Like I thought it was just about the singers. And I think they complement each other so well.
Yeah, it's funny, I didn't really I wasn't crazy about the second half of the album until I was in the gym yesterday listening to it. And I was like, there was like not a lot of people around. So I was like really taking my time. And so I really got a chance to like really hear it a lot better. But Believe is really good. I definitely suggest like going back to that one. I think one of the singers sings in a different language on that one. I couldn't tell what it was. I didn't know if it was German or something else, but
I remember that.
Yeah,
that caught my ear too. Yeah, I wasn't sure what it was.
Definitely go back and listen to it because I thought I didn't know if there was something weird going on with the vocals or if I was like crazy. So it definitely sounded like a different language.